go. First little chunker of the morning there. It's a good fish. It's good fish. Stick you in the live well for a little while, buddy. I'm gonna keep you and see what I can do with my best 5 today. See what I can do with my best 5.
From here where I'm coming from, we can disagree without being disagreeable. We can even have a heated conversation and a debate.
And I would say that what you're saying is patriotic.
Yeah.
This is patriotic, and I think it's unpatriotic to be partisan.
Yeah.
Because I think we're supposed to be on a team together.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be Team America, right?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
Exactly.
We're fighting over nonsense and mischaracterizing positions just to suit our own ideas. It's foolish.
It's foolish, and as you said, it's extremely dangerous. And the American people are the ones who ultimately lose in all of this. This is one of the most frustrating things that I've seen and experienced throughout my
I think he is too short.
Really started,
we'll see.
When I first went up after I got elected, where after every election happens, the new members of Congress, they go and they have what's called new member orientation, and they give you these books, and here's the maps, and here's where your office is, and all the administrative and logistical stuff. But very quickly, I would say within the first few days, where we're at, because he doesn't want to risk an arms deal with Saudi Arabia, a theocratic dictatorship that actually directly supports terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda.
It's hard for people to imagine that that's the case, that it's an arms deal, and they want to make sure that this deal goes through, and that it continues to be financially productive for both nations.
Well, that's, this is Trump's argument. He's like, well, that's American jobs, building those weapons that we're selling to Saudi Arabia. That's what's at risk. My challenge to him and to the American people is, if the best our president can do to help support the creation of jobs in this country is to build weapons that are being dropped on innocent people in countries like Yemen, then we need a new president. We need a new commander-in-chief that will actually help serve the best interests of our people and work towards the interests of peace here at home and peace abroad.
Yeah, the idea that it's just
There's
jobs.
another one.
It's not just jobs.
No.
It's just right over what we need. Backwood.
About universal
Artificial intelligence and how quickly this technology is evolving, with very little oversight or understanding at the highest levels of our government about both what the opportunities are that it presents and also the very real dangers of this technology being weaponized.
Here's number 3. They're all little though. I gotta find those big fish.
we do
Thank you, buddy.
to stop artificial intelligence from spiraling out of spiraling down.
Has made tons of money off of selling opioids that have literally devastated people's lives. Our legislation, the Opioid Accountability Act, we introduced in the last Congress, we're going to be introducing again soon, would provide our federal prosecutors with the tools they need to hold companies like Purdue Pharma and others responsible for this proliferation of opioids criminally accountable.
That's a little bit better one.
Constant changing of the dosage. This fentanyl is
The FDA has approved.
Huh.
I don't understand
Well,
why do you need them?
that's another one. Another good one. It's been a kind of strange day. I got one on the big blue. I got one on the structure bug. I got one flipping. And I got one on a frog. So, yeah, that's definitely a better one for today. About the size of that one that ate my frog this morning. But I'm going to keep going back through here. There's a lot of wood and stuff in the water. Just like what I just caught that fish off of. Let's see if we can catch us a few more.
Stamps.com. You get 5 cents off every first class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. Not to mention, it's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage. Find out why over 700
And another one. Flip it.
already use stamps.com.
Well, there's one thing for certain going on today. They want to be next to a piece of wood, and they want to be about as shallow as they can get. The only problem is I can't seem to find one over 15 inches. I've caught a couple over 15 inches, but they're definitely tight as they can get to this stuff, which is fun because I love flipping, but interesting all at the same time. So, but it's to be expected. I mean, water's only 78, which that's about perfect temperature for these bad boys to be sitting up here hanging out. And the thing is, too, is this grass is starting to grow up, and I really think that's one of the biggest proponents of why I'm catching these fish way back in these pockets like I am. I say way back. Catching fish in shallow pockets is because this grass is starting to grow up. You know, it's oxygen rich, and so it allows them to sit in this 78-degree water and not get too hot and kind of hang out. So yeah, that's what's going on here. It's kind of what we're looking for today. But we're going to stay after it here because, I mean, any one of these flips could be a 6.5 pounder, so, or a 7 or 8, or I mean, hell, I don't know why I sell myself short every single time. I guess I just like 6 is a good solid number, I guess. But yeah, this bush looks freaking juicy right here.
Not only unhealthy, but have, at least back when he wrote this book, have easy access to prescription medicine. They're just overdosing. Right. And they're just fucking right.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like organic things, you know, like salads and oatmeal and salmon.
Is it helping?
Yeah, well, I feel bad. I've lost weight. I'm thin. I'm taking huge, like, green baby leg shits. Like, insane. Like, the S.
Come here, stop. There we go. There's another one. About the same size as the other ones I've been catching. Not giants, but they're fish. Again, shallow wood. Huh. Shallow wood. The only outlier bite that I've got, and the only one that's been any different, was that one that I got in the grass on the big blue worm. That fish was in about 15 foot of water. The thing with that bite is I fished about 4 juice spots before I caught that fish. So I don't know if they're on the grass. I just think that one fish was kind of orienting to it. I don't think that that's like a pattern that I can run. But I know a lot of shallow wood that I can go flip with a structure bug and keep catching them. So that's what we're going to keep doing. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thought I'd do a quick rundown and breakdown of what I was fishing, kind of my thoughts on why I think those fish were there, and then what I was throwing and what I was throwing it on. So let's talk about what I was fishing. So primarily today, I noticed, and kind of the pattern that I got on, that was that those fish were on wood, and shallow wood at that. But there was one key detail that really determined whether the fish were in pockets that I went to or they weren't, and that was the grass. So any pocket that had some emergent grass in it, some grass growing around those brush piles and those log jams and things like that, those bass seemed to be there more, and I seemed to get more bites in those areas, and that really makes sense. We're moving into a period of time here going into early June. You know, late May into early June is really when that grass starts to grow really well, and it starts to get emergent where you can see it right under the top of the water column. And really that's when those bass start to really use that grass. And the reason for that is because that's when the shad, the bluegill, the gizzard shad start to use that grass as well. So it brings those bass into those areas because they're feeding on those big gizzard shad and those big bluegill. So once we get more into June and that grass really grows up, it gets really thick, those bass will start orienting to the grass instead of the wood, and that's when that big worm that I caught one fish on today really becomes a big tool for me, because it looks like a big gizzard shad that is wounded swimming around in that grass, and those bass take advantage of that. So really I think that was the key today. I was fishing those areas where I know those fish are going to be going to, or they're already in there just waiting for that grass to come up. And really that's a big thing, guys, when you're out there fishing, is look for the areas that the bass are coming to you. When you can find those areas, oftentimes you're going to get a lot of bites, and you'll be able to pattern those fish a lot better. And in a tournament situation, when the bass are coming to you, you're in a good place to catch a really good bag. So let's talk about what I was throwing and what I was throwing it on to catch the fish that I did. So the first one was on a frog. It wasn't on this specific frog. It was on that spitting shad. I took it off and put this one on just to mix it up a little bit and see if I could get some more bites. But I actually mixed up my frogging rod today. This is my 7.3 medium heavy G-Rod Game Changer. The reason I did that is I just wanted to kind of switch it up, test a few different rods for frog fishing. Probably going back to my 7.3 heavy though, my Pro Bass, because that thing, I'm just used to it. You know what I mean? I'm very hyper specific about that rod. But I just wanted to see, just kind of mix it up and see. But I had that teamed up with my Lose Pro TI, some 65-pound braid, and like I said, that 65 size Spro Frog, but it was the spitting shad version. Caught that first fish this morning right off the back. Really had to work that fish, really take my time with it, make that frog just kind of walk back and forth very slowly to get that bass to bite. Then my second fish came off of a flipping bite. Nope, my second fish came off of a big worm bite. That was my second fish. So the big worm bite down in that deep grass, that grass really wasn't grown up how I wanted it to be. I was pulling up pieces of grass about that long, 6 to 7 inches. Really, when you're doing that, you're wanting to look for those pieces of grass that are 1 foot to 2 foot long. That's really when that grass is getting thick, and that's when those bass seem to be in it more, and when they start using it a lot more as their cover and their ambush points instead of the wood, like I said. But 8-inch bullworm, prism shad, 1/2 ounce unpegged Texas rig, Beast Coast worm weight, 20-pound copolymer, 4/0 worm hook, 7.5 gear ratio Lose BB1 Pro, 7.5 foot G-Rod Pro Bass, and this is my big worm rod. You guys have seen it a whole lot. It's what gets work done. And I like throwing this big worm on this rod because it's got just a little more butt and allows me to throw that worm around, because that worm does weigh quite a bit. And then I got a few bites flipping. Flipping some really heavy cover using a Rage Bug, 1/2 ounce weight, peg, 65-pound braid, 7.5 gear ratio, 7.5 foot heavy G-Rod Game Changer, my Lose Custom. This is my flipping stick. You guys have seen it a lot. If you've been around the channel for any amount of time. If you're new, this is my flipping stick. But really key for those bass that I caught really deep in that cover. I literally, with me and flipping trees or log jams, I start with the outside edge and then I just go straight to the center. I mean, I go right in the middle of the nastiest stuff, because oftentimes that's where those fish are going to be. And both the flipping bites that I got using this setup, they were right in the middle of the nastiest part of that cover. And two, keeper size fish. And then I got a few bites throwing around a Texas rig. So because I was throwing the frog on my 7.3 medium heavy Game Changer, I switched it up and I was using my Lose TP1 Black. This is a 7.3 medium heavy, just like that Game Changer. Paired it up with my Lose Hypermax, 7.5 gear ratio, 15-pound copolymer, 4/0 worm hook, or actually it's a 4/0 EWG. It's kind of like a hybrid worm hook, structure bug, and a 3/8 ounce Beast Coast Bomb R flipping weight. And really, guys, today was just the definition of trash fishing, junk fishing. I did a little bit of everything. I put together a decent little limit, probably weighed like 12, 13 pounds maybe at that. Looked for that one big bite and just could not find it. But fun day overall, good day to be on the water, and really kind of learning experience for me. It's one of those deals. It's like, I know those fish are coming to those areas. I know the areas that those fish are going to be in, and I'm getting to fish those fish that are in transition, and just kind of getting that timing down of when is that going to happen, because really it's about that grass growth, and it's about how much sun that grass gets, how much oxygen that grass gets, and how much cool water that grass gets. And when all those things kind of start clicking together, which they will eventually, if I can get that timing deal down, I can probably go out there and catch some really big fish. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, please go leave them in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Also, go down in the description. I have links to all my partners like AFCO, G-Rod, Lose, Strike King. You guys can go check out everything I was wearing, what I was throwing. I'll be down in the description. But as always, you guys are sweet. Thank you for watching.